Welcome to this week's episode of ClueCon Weekly. Joining us this week is Rita Lopes, Engineering Lead and Director of Cloud Ops at QXIP. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I'm super glad to be here.
It's always great to have someone from the company, from the Homer project, and all the other wonderful stuff you've been doing for the community. So thank you too. Well, for the few people who don't know you, maybe you'd like to start with a quick introduction.
Sure. So I'm Rita. I work at QXIP, as you said, as an engineering lead and director of cloud ops for the moment. Uh, but it didn't start like that actually, and maybe this adds to the curiosity of what we've been doing and what I have been working on here at QXIP. So I joined and I started to work on the Epic support. And Epic, for the ones that don't know, is like the evolved version of Omer. It's paid, it's not open source, and basically it has more features. It's the evolved of Omer. It works with media. So we provide a lot more professional services, bug fixes, and I started on that realm. So basic Epic support for all our customers. However, well, my biggest passion is more into the architecture side. And we have
Oh,
a product that's called Gigapipe. And Gigapipe allows for more of that because I'm more into proper DevOps stuff like
hmm,
architecture decisions, how to improve deployments, how to improve processes, automation, all the big stuff like Ansible, Terraform, microservices. And well, on Epic, it's a product that is mostly deployed on prem, so it depends on the customer's architecture, and we cannot expand so much on those points. And Gigapipe allows you to go into that realm. So more and more, I stepped my toe into Gigapipe, and that's mostly well how I became the director of Cloud Ops. I just well stepped my toes in and in and in until it became a thing.
oh well, then so you started as an engineer and you've done a lot of voice over IP too, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. So basically, how I became to know about Omer at all was because I used Omer as a VoIP engineer before on my previous roles, previous companies. I was using FreeSwitch, Omer, Kamailio, all that fun stuff as a proper VoIP engineer.
Nice. Yeah. It's well, we come from the same place, to different stories. I'm more on the almost sales side now, but knowing that telephony is always at the heart is the best thing. Speaking of which, well, Homer, I think almost everybody knows about Homer, so maybe we'll give 20 seconds to explain what Homer is and what the
Sure.
ecosystem is. What do you think?
Yeah. So for the one or two people that are here that don't know Homer, basically Homer allows you to troubleshoot your VoIP network. And indeed, it started with just more or less SIP and RTCP, but we understand that nowadays troubleshooting VoIP is much more than that. Most likely, the issue for your calls will not rely on SIP issues, VoIP issues per se, but maybe the issue is related to the network, it's related to the servers, because we are on the microservices era and everything evolved to be much more complex than it was before. So basically, we evolved Omer to meet that requirement. So basically, nowadays, and my talk about Omer 11 is to disclose a new generation of Omer where we are delivering a way to troubleshoot your VoIP network. But instead of you just seeing your calls, you will be able to correlate those with logs, metrics, traces, and everything that's happening under the hood that's impacting your call, but doesn't necessarily have to do with it, basically.
Yeah, and there's a lot more. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
scratching the surface. At this point, it does so much. So let's start from here. Over the years, I think it's useful to visualize how the Homer project grew and what other parts were added, because there were many other parts added around Homer, which is just the UI. You have a new database. There's a lot there. So what have been the changes through the years?
So maybe I think we can start because Omer didn't start on version 7, but I guess nowadays version 7 is the one that people use the most. It's the one considered the stable one. And Omar 7 is like we have our own UI where you can adjust, like do some custom dashboards, CC messages, the call flow, anything related to your call. However, on Homer 7, we use ClickHouse as a database. And I mean, you don't have access to proper logging, the telemetry information from the servers at all. It's just basically VoIP through and through. And then we have the version 10. And version 10 was not, it was a trial, let's just say that, like a dev release to kind of touch and feel the people's opinion, the community opinion on some vision that we begin to have. And well, some of the feedback was a bit, mm, well, mixed feelings because we decided to remove the UI on number 10 and people were really upset about it. We kind of, I don't know, we overlooked the power of our UI. We thought maybe people would prefer to have everything inside Grafana because we understand that Grafana is also a community standard. But people just said, no, you know what? Okay, having Omer inside Grafana is a fun addition, but put the UI back. So we had that opinion, and maybe our vision with Omer then was kind of never landed, basically. So we got the feedback, we worked on it, and then we are about end of the summer, we are aiming for to deliver Omer
Mhm.
11. And Omer 11 indeed will have the UI back, but with improvements because before the UI was Angular. So Omer 7 has the UI on Angular, Omer 10 no UI at all, just Grafana. And Omer 11 will bring the UI back, but a better version. It will be now React. So we hope that people can look at it and adjust according to their needs because it seems that React is the most adopted language for the UI. And another change is that on Omer 11, we are removing the DB dependency entirely. Another feedback that we got was that, well, we are on the microservices era, so we don't want to deal with databases anymore.
Mm.
Scaling databases is a pain. We know it. It costs a lot of time. It costs a lot of money. Things start. They simply don't scale. It becomes a problem, and we need to babysit databases all of the sudden. So we just said, you know what? Let's go into the data lake type of approach, use
Mhm.
Parquet files, and just remove the database entirely and let the people decide how they want to do it. It's files everywhere. Everything is files now. So Omer 11, the biggest change, I guess, it's on that perspective, allowing the customers to scale as they wish without vendor lock-ins and without the hassle of handling a database.
Nice. Yeah. And then you've been adding a lot of cloud side stuff. Like, well, you have a product based on Homer right now, which is, well, I'll let you speak about it. Like, if say I look, so let's take a step back. Say I want to start with Homer, packet captures, checking and things, but I don't want to host my own. I know it's not hard if you know what you're doing, but it might not be easy either for various reasons. And or I want to have the supported version, and I want to have support from you, etc. You have a product about that, right?
Absolutely. It's called Gigapipe. And Gigapipe is our take into instead of just doing telecom observability, how about doing a full stack observability solution?
Hmm.
So Gigapipe allows you to do all the telemetry, logs, metrics, traces, profiling, everything in one place, and also integrate the Omer, or in this case, because it's paid, it's Epic, integrate it and have a full stack observability solution that we manage. Basically, you ingest everything towards the handled machine. You go to the UI, troubleshoot, query what you want to query, and call it a day. Everything under the hood is managed by us. All the complexity, deployments, maintenance, scalability, all is managed by us. So yeah, Gigapipe is like I mean, it's an evolution for us because we started as just VoIP observability, telecom observability, and Gigapipe is like stepping our toes into something bigger than just that because we feel like we need it.
Can Gigapipe be used as a general APM platform? Like can I point, for example, an exception handler on my application and have it pipe that into a Gigapipe, or is it more for time series style information?
It can be anything that both are acceptable. Like any type of telemetry you can ingest for sure. So
Oh, so it supports a lot of different lot of different formats,
yeah, because
agents.
so
Yeah.
basically, this is also the magic. This is like kind of an hybrid between Ombre 11 and Gigapipe newest release that we are aiming for later this year. Both are targeted or happening because of Giga API. Giga API is like the one enabling the schema on
Hmm.
write approach and the packet files. And basically, you can ingest whatever you need because we know that at some point you want to ingest something that has, for example, three keys. You have three keys, and all of a sudden, next week, the schema changed. I need a new key, I need a new label. Doesn't matter. You ingest it, and under the hood, everything is handled for you. So GigaAPI is the secret sauce.
So I had to ask this because there's one thing that sort of doesn't click in project naming. Where's Kieran sitting in all of this?
Okay, so Quirin was first name of Quirin was Siloki. Then we had some issues, as you can imagine, and we
Yeah.
needed to rename for Quirin. But we found out that maybe Quirin is not sticking. It's hard to pronounce, maybe, and we simply revamped for Gigapipe because at at the beginning, Quirin had a version open source in JavaScript, and Gigapipe was our own cloud product in Go. At some point, we thought this makes no sense. Why are we maintaining two things in two different languages? Let's just release Gigapipe to the public and reframe it in Go. That's how it happened. So right now, Quirin is Gigapipe.
Okay, so if someone is looking to use the open source version of Gigapipe, they should be using Gigapipe,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
not
yeah,
Kieran.
yeah. Correct.
Kieran is kind of an in between project right now.
Yeah, quitting it was like we are no longer supporting it because
Mhm.
well, it's in JavaScript and it's harder and makes no sense for us to maintain two languages. Also, the community, in my personal preference, I'm not a fan of JavaScript, so I'm for the Go version for sure.
I mean, I could tell by the way you said it's in JavaScript.
Yeah, with that.
The mo no, it's in JavaScript. Okay, I get it. I get it. No problem. Yeah, I mean, Node as its uses is just that for this kind of project, this kind of product, Golang is just makes just everything is written in Golang at this point. There are some Rust teams, and there are some C teams like for Switch, but other than that, most of the network and platform side programming right now is done in Go, which makes sense. It's a very compact language that I really like.
Absolutely agree. Yeah.
Cool. So, as you know, we're coming up on ClueCon in just 2 short months. Well, less than 2 short months, and it's really so it's going to be from the August 3rd to August. Well, it's wow. No, it's almost a month. Wow, it's a very short time. Well, I
Yeah.
guess it's time flies when you're having fun, and we will be speaking at ClueCon.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be speaking, I believe, on Thursday. I'm not sure if it's yet settled and fully confirmed, but I should be on the last day. Best for last.
Yeah, I mean it's always people stay until the end, so it's great. It's always a great conference. It's my
Yeah.
favorite. And yeah, so let's get into the topic of the actual of the actual episode, which is what's going to be we're just going to be about. Can we get a sneak peek? Can we get some of this special sauce you're going to be showing there?
Yeah, so basically, as I already disclosed,
Hmm.
my presentation will be really focused on Giga API, which is the secret sauce of Omer 11. So basically, the presentation will touch on some history, like so what happened to Omer 10, how from Omer 10 are we landing on Omer 11, what did we learn, how the feedback impacted our R&D and our direction, the whys on everything, basically touching a lot on architecture, microservices demands, how that impacts everything and the concept, and touching a lot on the fact that the database is gone and that I mean imposes a big change and allows for a lot of freedom, like and basically that freedom and everything that we are kind of reinventing and implementing on number 11 is basically due to the fact of GigaAPI, the data
Nice.
lake, the Parquet files, all that concepts. And I can already tell, for example, because of this, we are also working on the AI chatbot, where you basically go to Omer, you have all your logs, metrics, traces, profiling, and your calls, and you just say, look, can you tell me why my calls got impacted on this day between this time range? Is it because of resources? Is it because I had a spike on memory? And the bot will be able to process all the files because everything is files. You no longer have a database. So it's really easy for the automation to select the partitions it wants to see and correlate the information for you. So this is something we are working on. I'm not sure if the bot will be released with Omer 11 on the end of the summer out of the box, but we are for sure working on this feature.
Well, that's really nice. I feel like feels like there's a lot. I mean, AI is everywhere right now,
Yeah,
but I feel like in this particular case, it fits a very good slot because very often, I don't want to say the problem, but the challenge when asking questions to complex logging systems, whether you're running Grafana internally, Homer, whatever, is figuring out the syntax more than anything. Like very often, the
absolutely.
problem is that you don't remember: is it one pipes or two pipes? Does it need quotes here or not? Is it one equals or two equals? That kind of little detail that very often leads to weirdness. Like people come up with and say, "I'm not finding anything in the logs." Yeah, you're not because you don't have the right syntax. So AI is going to help a lot in that regard because it
Yeah,
should generate the
absolutely.
right query.
Absolutely. So because I cannot compromise on having the AI bot at the first release, at the first iteration. I can tell that for sure on the first iteration, you will be able to query any data using SQL. So basic SQL will be suitable for any type of
Oh,
get me
that's
XYZ.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
amazing. It is. Yeah, it feels like SQL has gone through a resurgence with the upcoming of AI. Like AI is very good at writing SQL. It's insanely good at writing SQL. So I see a lot of projects actually switching to SQL as the interaction mechanism for complex querying, as opposed to GraphQL and a couple others that are more for API side interactions. But SQL is still king of data. I would go out and say that. People will
Yeah,
not be
yeah.
happy about it, but it is what it is. Like nothing beats SQL. What database are you running internally, if I may?
Absolutely. So basically, right now we still have systems and integrations with ClickHouse, of course.
Mhm.
And the new database that we have been heavily using is DuckDB. Because even though, yes, ClickHouse supports packet files too, DuckDB, we feel like I don't know, a fresh start and has a lot of features that we are interested in. So that's why we took DuckDB and did some integration, some codes, and implemented it inside GigaAPI. So basically, GigaAPI takes leverage of DuckDB for the reading part. The reading part and why we use SQL to read is because we do an integration on top of DuckDB. So Homer 11 will have it too, even though of course you may choose to choose another DB. If you want to still use ClickHouse, you absolutely can.
Nice. Yeah, that's I mean that helps with some setups, even when you have a complicated setup. Many companies, ourselves included, already have their own databases built in Postgres or complex stacks built on other databases. Not having to run a different piece of software can be, I mean, it's always easier to add one less moving part. So I really like
Yeah.
the idea of running your own database. So about more about the new API, the Giga API. Is it an open API spec? Is it something people can implement their own connectors for?
Yeah, it's 100% open source.
Mhm.
I believe the link for this project will be on the description.
Yeah,
And it's already, I mean, we've most of the work we've been doing has been focused on this core module. So it's really evolved and it's ready to be tested and get some feedback. But yeah, people can integrate for sure. It's ready. It's not on the embryonic phase. It's more on the ready for be tested, ready for the
nice.
public.
Yeah, and I'm sure I'm going to play with it too. It's also just something we didn't say earlier. Gigapipe has an open source version you can run, so you can just
Yeah.
download the entire engine and run it yourself. Of course, you have to know what you're doing. So
Yeah, and I mean, if you don't know, we have a lot of documentation, and if it is still not enough, we have the managed setup.
yeah, which is I don't usually say this, but I'm taking a quick look. It's also priced very correctly, so it's probably worth just using the managed setup. To be honest,
Yeah, I
it's
mean, one of the
uh,
factors that we are proud of is that it's a metered in the sense of we don't sacrifice you on the billing just because you are heavily using it. As long as you have, so basically you pay for one type of machine with a specific type of resources and a specific tier of storage. Let's imagine that you pay for 5 terabytes, I don't know, 10 terabytes. As long as you respect that, you are free to use it and abuse it as you wish.
which is, in my opinion, as someone who comes from a lot of testing background, I used to write automated testing for large scale applications. A lot of that is metered testing is the wrong way to go about it because you're
Yeah.
scared of using your credits. So
Yes.
if
Yes.
I push too many data points now, this might run out of credits for the month, so we don't have enough for the other projects. So I don't do it. So next time something happens to my system, I don't know what's happening because I'm not logging the issue. 'Cause I
Yeah.
don't want to. I don't want to use
Yeah, yeah.
them.
And from my VoIP engineer background, we know that sometimes it's been 2 weeks and everything is working like a charm, no problems at all. And there comes that special Friday where everything starts breaking. You don't understand why. So you need to start logging, debug logging, trying to understand where, why, what's going on, and why should you be punished by that one bad day on your life? Like, no, the bill would be exactly the same.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's yeah. Again, it's an anti-pattern to make it used like that. It's really important to just not be having meta services, which is great. And again, running your own is going to cost you more. So it's, I always say this, and people will come at me. This is mainly about open source software. So a lot of people would come at me and say, "Hell, you always say the services are better than just running your own, etc." But think about this: you're not building a monitoring platform. The monitoring platform is Rita's. You got it from her, and you got her project. Like this, the same people who don't want to use an external monitoring service are not building their own servers. Like I can respect the idea of using nothing that's from the cloud if you're literally buying CPUs from from a computer store and building your own boxes and putting them somewhere, but you're not doing that. So where does the line stop? Focus on your project, focus on your product, launch, and then you can. The great thing about this kind of platform is that you can also always come backwards. I go
Yeah,
with the managed
absolutely.
version. I go with the managed version. I realize I take off. I have a billion users, and now my terabyte of data is nearly not enough for a week. So what I do is I'll make my own using the open source version, or instead of scaling. I mean, I can also scale. If I have a billion users, I can probably buy enough licenses, but it doesn't matter. You can always scale back. So keep that in mind too, which is very, very important. Well, Rita, thank you so much. Looking forward to your talk at ClueCon and to meeting. Will you only be you from the team or someone else joining?
Now, Yachin will be joining for the workshop, Lunch and Learn. So we'll be two from QXIP there.
Yeah, I was about to say there is not a ClueCon without Yakin, so I was sure it will come. Just just confirmation.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
absolutely. I hope to see you there.
Yeah, I'll be there too. I'll be there the week before too. It's we have an internal meeting and meeting a few customers over there, so I'll
Okay.
be around for a while. Well, joining us today was Rita Lopes from QXIP. News about Homer 11. Meet her at ClueCon. Come hear her talk and go check out Homer and especially Gigapipe, which is a great product. And well, thank you, Rita, for joining us today.
Thank you.
For the rest of the people, I'll see you next week. Goodbye.